Hi guys, it is Kieran from RedDevilWeekly to give my thoughts ahead of United's game against Everton. The 12:30 kickoff, the early kickoff, the dreaded early kickoff, as a lot of people like to call it. Certainly, if you like a bit of a bet, it usually lets you down. So, with that in mind, I do think this is going to be an interesting one, especially for the neutrals. But before we get into it, if you do enjoy this video and want to leave your own thoughts on this game, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And also, if you do enjoy it, of course, hit that like button. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it shows me you're enjoying what I'm doing. But yeah, this is just going to be a quick video really. I usually do live streams, but I have been doing videos in the last couple days just because I'm a little bit busy, and it's nice just to be able to give my thoughts in a bit more of a succinct way, if you know what I mean. But streams will be coming back, so don't worry about that. But we'll talk about Everton. We'll get straight into the preview because I don't want to keep you too long. Everton currently 16th in the league. Obviously Sean Dyche has taken them over and has taken them out of the bottom three, a team which at one point were bottom of the Premier League table when Frank Lampard was in charge. But Sean Dyche has done a very decent job since he's turned up. A few good results actually against top six sides, most notably recently a 1-1 draw with Spurs, a game which had 2 red cards. Everton were down to 10 men, and somehow they still looked the better side, even before Lucas Moura got sent off and evened up the score on both sides. So Everton are not a team to take lightly. They also drew 2-2 with Chelsea recently as well. A goal from Josh Sims late on in that game, claiming a 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge. Now, I know Chelsea are, and well, I was going to say were in disarray, but they kind of still are in disarray even after the appointment of Lampard. We'll see how he does. But, you know, you might say Chelsea aren't a great side, but to go to Stamford Bridge and, you know, to get a point and to show the character they did, especially when Chelsea were ahead in that game, to come back and get the point, it is massive for them. And it's proven to be, you know, the outside of that dreaded drop zone, and that is where they're hoping to be come the end of this season. So they're not going to have any fear. You know, they're not going to come to Old Trafford with, you know, any fears, and they have nothing to lose really. Obviously they don't want to get beaten really badly, but they don't have a huge amount to lose. I think they'll be looking towards their next few fixtures against teams in the lower half of the table. Really, coming to Old Trafford, they're not expected to win this game, but it almost makes them more dangerous. You know, they know that they can mix it with the likes of Chelsea and Spurs and other top six sides. They obviously beat Arsenal in Dyche's first game in charge. That was at Goodison Park, but still a very impressive win over a team that very few teams have beaten this season. Trust me, we know how hard it is to beat Arsenal. So, you know, Everton getting that win, I know is a little bit of new manager bounce, but you know, they have experience in upsetting the odds, especially with a manager like Sean Dyche, who has been there and done it before. And if Sean Dyche does beat us at Old Trafford, he'll become the first English manager to beat Manchester United at Old Trafford with 2 different clubs, which would be a major feat, and just really showing that he can adapt to any managerial situation that he finds himself in. And of course, Everton, we know their threats, set pieces, you know, massively, especially with Dyche coming in. Something that he perfected with Burnley was how dangerous they are on their set pieces. And he brought over some of his boys, you know, Tarkowski coming in. Obviously, Michael Keane's played for Burnley as well. So they know how to make the most of it. McNeil as well. McNeil in that midfield, putting in crosses. You know, they know that's, you know, they have to use their strengths to get the best chance of scoring goals, and their strength is 100% the height they possess, especially over us. Our team isn't the tallest anymore. It used to be one of the biggest in the league, but it's gotten progressively smaller as new managers have come in. So, you know, that is one thing that we're going to have to look out for, is the height advantage that Everton have over us, and I'm sure they're going to be looking to use set pieces all day long. But also their counter-attacking presence is something that we saw against Spurs. You know, their pace with the likes of Iwobi, you know, Damari Gray, these guys, McNeil again. You know, these guys are very good ball carriers. They're looking to counter. You know, they're looking to pounce. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Everton allow us to have a lot of possession, especially considering we don't have our two first choice midfielders, which would probably be Casemiro and Eriksen in this situation, playing a team in the relegation race. So, I think that was the main difference from when we beat them 3-1, and obviously that's the last time we played Everton at Old Trafford, a 3-1 win this season in the FA Cup. The difference is that our midfield was a lot stronger. Casemiro and Eriksen playing together, creating opportunities. Casemiro was probably at the peak of his form that we've seen this season coming into that game, and he just makes such a difference to us. Looking at the midfield we're going to potentially play in this one, I think Everton, with the physicality advantage they have as well in that midfield with Onana, Idrissa Gueye, and potentially James Garner as well making his return to Old Trafford. There is a potential for us to get overrun in that position, which we have seen when we haven't played Casemiro in these fixtures. But that's my main concern really, I'd say, is set pieces and also counter-attacking threat with the pace they have in behind. So our defence are going to have to be switched on. They're going to have another good game like they did against Brentford. So hopefully they do that, and hopefully they continue our good and solid record at Old Trafford. We want to continue Old Trafford as a fortress. We want to continue that as long as possible, especially towards the end of the season, because it's the business end and we can't afford to drop silly points at Old Trafford. But we're going to talk about Manchester United, and obviously Christian Eriksen is back available. He is in the squad for the first time since January, where he picked up that injury against Reading, the Andy Carroll tackle. God, man, what an awful tackle. What an awful tackle that was. But he's back in the squad. We don't think he's going to start the game, but he's definitely back in the squad, so we might see a substitute appearance. Hopefully, when we're 3-0 up in the game and it's done and dusted, we can see Eriksen back and kind of nurture him back slowly but surely. But he will be in the squad, so that's really good news, a really good boost to the squad as well. But I'm going to give you my predicted starting 11. And I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of change from what we saw in the Brentford game. I don't think he's going to make too many changes. Luke Shaw is out. Luke Shaw is ruled out. He came off with an injury against Brentford, which is really frustrating actually, because Shaw actually this season has had a very good season. And I know recently he's looked a little bit burnt out, so maybe this time on the sidelines won't be too bad for him. But I do think he's our best fullback. I think he's someone who, defensively can get caught out, but going forward really adds a lot to our play. So Malacia is going to slot in for him. I have gone with Wan-Bissaka as well over Dalot. I just feel like with the pace that Everton have, we need someone like Wan-Bissaka to turn up and give it his all and put him on those performances we've seen from Wan-Bissaka where he locks up those wing players. I'm going to go with Sabitzer and McTominay. I know there's some people that say maybe you should go with Fred in that midfield instead. And if I was predicting it, I think we will go with McTominay. But if I was going to pick it, I'd probably go with Fred, just because I feel like, whilst he doesn't have the physicality that McTominay has, I think he does offer a bit more going forward. Fernandes, Anthony, Rashford in behind Anthony, Martial up front. Fernandes, I thought, had a really good game against Brentford. I think he had like 93% pass completion rate. He was brilliant. Anthony, in recent games, has been important for us. And obviously Rashford is the only one scoring goals right now. So, Rashford, I think, has to start. I didn't really need to tell you guys that, to be honest. But, yeah, 28 goals for the season. Hopefully, he can make it 29 or 30 goals for the season against Everton if he has an unbelievable game. And then Anthony Martial, this is his time to come to life. We saw it in the COVID season when it stopped. And around this point in the season, he came back and he thrived. Hopefully we see that again from Martial. He's had the rest. He's had time off. Obviously he's been injured, but he's had a lot of time off to think about it. And he could start Weghorst. But I want to see Martial from the start, because I thought he looked bright in the games that he's come back in. So I want to see him start, and obviously he's got an incredible record against Everton as well. So that's my starting 11. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. And now I'm going to give my score prediction on the game. And I really think that it's going to be a tough game. Every game we don't have Casemiro has been tight. I don't think we've had an easy win in any game since Casemiro's suspension in the league. The Brentford game, I thought we played some good football, but ultimately we just about got over the line in the end with a vital 3 points, actually. And a win here would mean we'd go 6 points clear inside top 4, 6 points clear of Spurs, and they have to play Brighton. So, we could potentially end the day 6 points clear inside top 4, which would be a really good feeling, especially after the last few weeks where it just felt like it got a little bit tight. So a win is really important tomorrow. I'm going to go with a 3-1 Manchester United win. I feel like, Martial's got a very good record against Everton. We've also just come off the back of a very solid home performance, even without Casemiro. Everton are going to make it difficult for us, I think, from set pieces, and I do think they're going to nick a goal. But I think we'll come through it, and I'm going to say 3-1. And I think Rashford, Martial, and Bruno Fernandes get on the score sheet for us. I actually think the Bruno Fernandes one will be a penalty. I think we'll get awarded a penalty in the game. So I'm going to say Fernandes penalty, and United come away with a 3-1 win. But you never know. Everton, as I said, counter-attacking threat and set pieces is going to be a really interesting game, and it's going to be a bit of a rough ride. So let's hope United can do the business and get the 3 points, a vital 3 points at this point in the season, and then we can welcome back Eriksen and Casemiro into our midfield fully in the coming week, which would be really positive news. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all your support on all the recent videos. And as I said, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say on this game. But until we meet again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one.